I'll try my best to encourage you, all of you, inspire you, hopefully. Okay? Damba jumden den de shinje ba da jumba yanda ba zobe sanje riba dang shab sun demba devara jeba jiden kemba giwun de bengalo juwa lana me ba sadam minam gi damba sanje jumden den benga wa shagya tubala chatsalo chodo gyabzu chewu Dumba jumden de shinje ba da jumba yanda ba zobe sanje riba dang shab sun demba devara jeba jiden kemba giwun de bengalo juwa lana me ba Ladam minam gi dumba sangi jumden de bengyawa shagya duba la chaselo chudu yebzu chewu Dumba jumden de jinje ba da jumba yanda ba zobe sangi riba dan shabzun den ba devra sheba jiden kemba giwu dube kalu gyurwa Lana meba ladam minam gi dumba sangi jumden de bengyawa shagya duba la chaselo Kamarabri mamendan gyumasiva chuvuda milam lodan tinda bu düce chunam dedarta sunam di tamje sebaye kobantoni gyungi radu de gada nadan chivil sibe sole drova drova sho sunam di kamarabri mamendan gyumasiva chuvuda milam lodan tinda bu düce chunam dedarta sunam di tamje sebaye kobantoni gyungi radu gada nadan chivil labdrube sibe sole drova drova sho kamarabri mamendan gyumasiva chuvuda Milam lodan tinda bu düce chönam di darta sunam di tamji sebaye kubantoni kingir gada nadan chive labdrube zibe sole drova drova sho. Okay, so for a few moments we're going to stay as meditative state, just trying to bringing harmonies to your mind and body and trying to bringing grounding our mind, okay, and based on that then gradually generating loving and kindness, open heart. Okay, great, thank you.
There was just one question. Can people hear him okay?
It's pretty quiet, even for me.
So, very good.
Maybe sometimes I'll just hold the mic and maybe easier. It's okay? And this is, I can just pull it out, yeah. Perfect. Okay. Okay, so, thank you. Maybe Jordan, you can read the topic. That's what I'm supposed to talk about.
Compassion and wisdom in challenging times, something like that.
Okay. So, so now I think fundamentally we all, as often His Holiness states, we all want to have a peaceful mind, some level of comfort, and move on with our life. Things that we want to do, we can do. This is something we all have a very common things, loving and nurturing. We all have a same. Now, that's the fundamental. I think we have to constantly acknowledge this kind of similarity, the similarity. And if we now the challenge, concept of a challenge comes from there's some type of a not major difference, but some slight difference how you view the world. Okay, but I think we are so therefore I think for us in this kind of like a challenging time, I think we need to be aware both sides, the similarity part, and also be aware of the difference. If we only focus into the difference, there's no way to open up our heart and compassion. There's no way. If we one-sided, very straightforward, and so therefore, I think, fundamentally, in a challenging time related with even with the individual, in the group, in the family, in the nation, I think we need to give attention even furthermore into this type of equanimity, that we all are kind of like there's some common ground that we all want to have a happiness and we all don't want to have a suffering. So now in a challenging time, wisdom to become much more skillful and aware, and compassion becomes much more effective. For that, awareness becomes a fundamental. And in awareness, basically, as I mentioned earlier, that's you are aware the similarity, you're aware also in the difference. So discipline that we need to do, our habit goes towards to the focusing too much into the difference, and making it up much more bigger than making up so big. So here I think fundamentally, what means challenge? Challenge is how we respond, the reality, how this working into the world, the things happening in the world, how we respond. So now over here, this is how we respond for the things that happening in the world. That becomes the fundamentally. The way of responding, again, it is need to be full awareness. Where you respond, how we take this reality. I think having full awareness. So once we, due to our own habit, once we starting to go towards to the one direction and focus too much into the difference, it may make a situation more worse than it can give something transformation, or So therefore, I think we need to kind of proactive at the same time. Ideally, of course, we'll react. May react, but at the same time, telling for our own self, there is a common ground, and basically, my contribution will be not through reaction, but through clear awareness and kind of compassionate, because I mean, like, what that really means, compassion. What really means compassion? Compassion only can generate it when we have some kind of awareness of some similarity, some common ground. If there's only focus in the difference, there's no way to generate it. There's no way to generating compassion at all. So I think now that the important part is again, sometime particularly from the Buddhist perspective, sometimes the karma is already too strong. So therefore, reality that we're going to experience, almost like this, when an airplane in the cloud, in a turbulence, so it needs to go through that. You cannot. I mean, like, if this car you can reverse, airplane I'm not sure you can reverse. So you need to kind of slow down and just go through that. Just be mindful and be aware, and just you kind of go through that turbulence. Make sure you will not make a more further. If the pilot trying to drive the airplane more faster or more reckless, then obviously it will contribute more for the turbulence, So therefore, so for us, once we notice that kind of turbulence, a difficult situation happening, here I think first thing we need to kind of gain the strength. We need to get first, before we kind of like engaging with our awareness and so on and so forth, first gaining the strength for our own self. And that strength never happens through reaction. And the strength, maybe there's lots of energy through the reaction, but it will just kind of like a caffeine. It's just this kind of it just give you some kind of rush. I'm doing something, but it is non-productive. So therefore, I think in such a case, so first make sure, before we kind of observe and digest the turbulence, the reality, I think it's very important to make sure our own self is much more grounded and the strength. And grounding and strengthening is basically full awareness. You can kind of understand, you understand the reality from many different perspectives, the situation, the time, understood from many different perspectives. Perspective of now, perspective from past, perspective for future. When the minute we kind of like our awareness trying to see the time that we are passing from many different perspectives, I think we will be much more effective to engaging, to transforming the turbulent, that difficulty. So therefore it is a really carefully observing, And first things I think we as an individual person in such a situation time, I think the way individually how we respond to the situation. This is, I think, one thing. Individually, if we respond very reactively, then that kind of a collective, individual, collective, will become a very, very powerful reaction. And reaction creates a reaction. And just kind of like a cycle of reaction. Cycle of reaction really unproductive for, for any situation. So therefore, I think full awareness, clarity, and at the same time, again, in the same time, in our mind, we want to have a change immediately, now, this moment. Also, patience, I think, is a very important time. How, in a difficult time, how we to, kind of experience the compassion and wisdom. Again, patience plays a very important role. Patience plays important role. Patience doesn't mean you're non-engaging. Patient doesn't mean non-engaging. Patient means you are engaging through non-reactive way. You will proactive through non-reactive way. So patient over here is need to kind of like patient. In part of the patient, sometimes we lose the momentum of our discipline, momentum of our compassion, momentum of our awareness. So patient require consistence. So you kind of really consistent. Your compassion is consistent. Your awareness is also consistent. Your mindfulness is very consistent, and you are really put together well. You are really, as an individual person, put together well. And that kind of reality will becomes the perfect situation to how we're responding for the difficult time. Okay, of course it is easy to say, but it is a really we need to kind of make an effort to non-reacting, reaction creating reaction. Then cycle of reaction is unproductive. Cycle of reaction creates more extreme. Okay, so therefore I think fundamentally fundamentally in a common ground, we all want happiness. We all want to kind of secure. We all want to have a healthy. We all want to have a breads on the table, our freedoms, and there's a basic things we all have a common ground. Now into that kind of awareness, the difference. And again over here, so what I'm saying over here is in a collective world, in a collective society, I think we need to have a more way of thinking in the middle ground, because we have all different view and a different worldview and a different way. So finding our through the wisdom and compassion and awareness, there is a common collective health need to create through middle way view, middle way of approach, middle ground. So therefore I think it is so basically if the approach to the wisdom, what is the wisdom we're going to do, contribute in a troubling time? What the wisdom? I think the wisdom will be the kind of thinking, and there's some kind of like a middle way to everybody have a space to kind of participate. The middle way ground, extreme ground, never we're going to be healthy. So middle way ground. So wisdom will be like there's a kind of like a looking into the middle ground, and that middle ground is from the Buddhist philosophical thinking point of view, there's no intrinsic middle way. It is a relative middle way, So therefore, it is not static middle way, So therefore, so fundamentally, I would say like in our day-to-day life, of course, it is a very when you're looking into what's happening, it's very kind of like a negative and a disturbing. But how we as an individual person can stay grounded and proactive, So that will be really the number one. So first of all, how we as not trying to run away and not trying to repress, be aware but non-reactive but grounded. So for grounding, for individual person, our own self, now we need to create some kind of a really good discipline as an individual person. So like whatever information we are going to consume, make sure there is a balance. There is a not obsessively taking too much information. You have a kind of right doses of information that you feel kind of that's it. If that becomes kind of obsessed, absolutely it will create extreme view. So therefore, how we take care of yourself first, in a turbulent time, in this difficult time. We want to fix the world, but before fixing the world, like an airplane, there's before you put the air mask for another, put yourself first so you can breathe better. In a similar way, this troubling time, how we can generate it, awareness about our own self and compassion for our own self. Maybe this will be the number first that we need to, before we trying to change the world or creating some kind of. So first things like based on that's me to be a change and a positive inspiration for this troubling time. The first thing, I need to be not in an extreme state, physically, emotionally, psychologically. I need to be into the really in a grounded, in a middle ground myself. So that's, I think, we have to start from there first. I think it's very important. So in a troubling time, how we, if we are in a very reactive, we are not compassionate to our own self. If we are very reactive, then we are not compassionate. If we are very reactive, we are not taking care of our own self. If we are very reactive, we are doing something not good things for our own self. If we are not doing something good for ourselves, it's pretty much difficult we can do something good for another living being. So reactive, if we notice, even though whatever that's saying, you might have a your view, your way of thinking might have a valid reason, but regardless, the responding, when the way you responding goes in the wrong direction, then definitely it is unhealthy. Regardless, it is ever in a logic base. So really, first thing is so to not to fall into the reactive, how you consume the information, how you consume, how you interact, how we process the information into day-to-day life. There is some kind of like a discipline. There is something kind of like a, information. When you're taking information, there's some kind of balance. There's a balance. And when you're reflecting into the information, there's something balance. How you're responding for the information, there's some kind of balance. There's a, healthy foundation is built it based on our own discipline, and based on that, obviously, naturally, your participation, your response will be much more effective. Much more. It's coming from very healthy ground. All the things coming from very healthy ground, healthy foundation. So therefore, in a difficulty time, how I can be grounded, number one. Grounded, number one. The way to grounding method is how we process information, have a discipline and balance. That's what I'm number one. That's one number one. Really how you take information, how you process information, how you reflect into the information. How you engaging into information. There is a kind of somehow mindfulness, being mindfulness and aware. Now I'm getting obsessed. Now I'm getting to unhealthy states. There's something that, and that measure is, there's no universal measure, but that measure you will feel through your body. Your body will tell your body will tell this is now getting too much. Your heart rate will tell this is getting too much. Your blood will tell this is getting too much. So listening for our body when we information processing, listening to our heartbeat. So these things, we need to develop these things. There is an insight within us telling us, okay, that's enough. But then we are keep feeding the problems that it's already shouting is enough. But we keep throwing and keep throwing and keep throwing. That's where it gets really unhealthy, So therefore, and also in a travel, generally mindfulness practice is very important. But in a difficulty time, we have to have a much more relying into the mindfulness practice. And without that kind of mindfulness and awareness, there's no way to, process this difficulty reality through loving kindness and compassion. So therefore, I will say that kind of awareness, mindfulness awareness, becomes fundamentally how we move through difficulty time. How we move through difficulty time. So that's, I think, now. Then difficulty time, once we have that kind of mindfulness awareness, and there is a discipline and patience, and then the difficulty time becomes kind of strange. What you mean difficult? When you say difficult time becomes, once we becomes obsessed over that particular time, and we are kind of getting extreme. So anyway, my point over here is really developing, we need to, when difficulty time, sometimes we get too much ignoring our own self and getting somewhere universal issues, and we get too much and ignoring our own self. And although it looks like you are really engaging, but you are ignoring important part yourself. And you are not coming that kind of engagement from healthy ground. So therefore, I think it's really important that in a difficulty time, that you are really pay attention for your body, pay attention for your feeling, pay attention for your mind. And that doesn't mean that you are ignoring the collective's issues. You are coming through that kind of a ground awareness, then you are really, your engagement, your awareness, your analysis, your observation. And, hopefully it may land into the middle way, kind of like into the common view. So and finding many different ways to discuss, many different ways to opening up. So now again, one thing is when a difficulty time, we are naturally closing. We close our heart more. We close our heart, and that's I think, really danger. The minute there is this kind of difficulty times going on, then we as the individual person, when we're starting to closing our heart, that's really, 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 really danger. So therefore, opening up, one thing is, of course it is easy to say, open your heart is easy to say, but we know once this happens, then really we become kind of extreme, so therefore, difficulty time, where we want to pay attention, one area is, if you notice, my heart is becoming closer and trying to closing more, then this is really unhealthy. We are not contributing something positive. So one thing is wisdom and compassion need to grow based on a difficulty time, how we can open our heart. Difficulty time, sometimes wisdom and compassion sometimes looks like if there's any trick to solve this difficulty time. So difficulty time, how to open our heart. And if we keep this fundamental view, I'm not going to close my heart. I'm not going to shut down my heart. And this is, if we kept that discipline and that commitment, and then I think there's a many different way to connect. Compassion is connecting. Compassion is like the emotional Wi-Fi. It just connects. It just connects. Compassion just connects. Wisdom is through that connection, whatever information you have, the right information. Wisdom is that information, that awareness, understanding. So therefore, fundamentally, first thing is a difficulty time. How to, if you notice your heart is closing, that's as I mentioned earlier, your heart will going to close when you becomes an abscess, where you respond for the information, the way you relating with the world, that becomes much more kind of extreme. Then there's no doubt, our heart will close. So therefore, totally repressing and ignoring is unhealthy. Maybe heart have no idea where it is. In reality, where it is when you totally ignore, and that's also not healthy. So therefore, the method, the healthiest way to heart to not to close is that kind of patience and discipline, mindfulness, awareness. Through these, in a difficulty time, keep our heart open still. My heart is open. I not necessarily agree everything what you say and what you do, but my heart is still open. And this is, I think, that's again is easy to say. My heart is, my heart is open. How much open is depends. So it is it's very difficult. And basically, in a difficulty time, if there is a cutting out minds, like I want to totally have to do nothing, there's a kind of, I say, cutting out. Cutting, like kind of deleting from your mind, cutting out. Once that mindset comes, I think it's a much more danger. That's also danger, So yes, it is a challenging. Yes, it is and opening, based on an open heart, there can be. When we say wisdom gives you basically how to respond and when to respond, when to not respond, when to engage, when to not engage. That kind of a skillful strength it gives to our own self. The wisdom gives us that. So based on an open heart, and you have a awareness of a common ground, based on that you generate some kind of connection through compassion, and the most active is your wisdom. Your wisdom have to be really like a good doctor. It knows what the right amount of dose of medicine, not overdose. It's able to finding it. It don't have to be perfect, but that wisdom will kind of works with you. That's, I think, and you are really kind of collaborating yourself and your wisdom. This is working, this is not working, this is, it is wisdom is not from the beginning ultimate answer. Wisdom is a collaborated work with our own individual journey of suffering. It's a collaborative work. It's like a doctor. Doctor don't have a absolute, okay, take this one. No, doctor have to, okay, let's try this one. Let's try. There is a base on a healing mindset, and it have a awareness kind of assessing. And so same like a wisdom. Wisdom is the same thing. Wisdom is like that you yourself kind of a two-way of a communication. You are looking into the situation, you're applying your wisdom. Today's wisdom's contribution may not necessarily be perfect for tomorrow. So there is an adaptability, there is a willingness to, wisdom is not so much on the spot giving you ultimate answer. Wisdom is a very adaptive responding awareness, very adapting. It is a working with the reality. It is a kind of adapting the situation. It is a kind of basically sake of health of yourself and health of everybody. That's the motivation. So wisdom is that kind of skillful means. Skillful means is just basically it takes you that journey. It you leads to that journey. How you navigate through this difficulty time. And wisdom can give you many different advice. You're willing to listen for many different advice. If you said, I need this one answer and that I can follow. I don't think so. In a difficulty time, wisdom is being aware of a collective reality, and based on that, it is a kind of like a readjusting how you can move forward, how you can navigate through this. So wisdom is basically the function way to kind of, how you say, I mean, like, for example, you can have a perfect doctor, but there's not collaborative patient. The doctor cannot do anything that much. Whatever the patients have to reject, there's a collaborative. So wisdom to function, when I say collaborative as a person, our own self, we are taking the journey in the difficulty time. So that kind of collaboration comes through mindfulness awareness. That awareness gives us the tool to collaborate with our wisdom awareness. Wisdom is basically need to guide. In a Buddhist philosophy point of view, wisdom is considered as like an eye. It's like an eye. It kind of shows you. So journey can be. So it is that wisdom, that eye. The journey can be. Journey can be highway. A journey can be country road. Journey can be just small. Hiking. As many different can be. So that kind of, in a journey into our day-to-day life, in this difficulty time, sometimes we take highway, sometimes we take country road, sometimes many different things. We take many different things, but sometimes due to our own habit, there's one kind of consistent journey that we take, and that journey may be more reactive, more reactive highway. So anyway, so basically, the wisdom need to work for many different journey. It can be many different, day-to-day basis. It can be different. And fundamentally, in a difficulty time, once we're able to kind of like a wisdom collaboration with our own self, with a compassion and awareness, that journey, yes, it is a difficulty, but this will become a journey of a self-discovery. In a difficulty time, you will discovery of yourself. You can discovery of your friends more better. So it is from Buddhist point of view, is a karmic learning. So this is yes, in one way we don't want that kind of like a hard way of learning, but one way that learning is a very, very, very profound. And this kind of like a self-learning. And sometimes in a philosophy they have an analogy like a lotus. And the lotus comes from the kind of impure pond. This is an ancient classical kind of analogy. Yes, difficulty time, maybe our own self can transform into a lotus. A lotus. And it is coming through lots of challenge. It came through so many different challenge. So therefore, I think in a way to look at it is this whole thing's happening. And I think there is a hope to ourselves to transform as like a beautiful lotus. If we kind of consistent and collaborative and constantly adapting and patient, basically. So really the wisdom is that really here now you will learn lots yourself. You will learn lots yourself into this difficulty time. So difficulty time is kind of we can take in a many different ways this difficulty time as a very disadvantage, or this very difficulty time was a very opportunity. So opportunity. So therefore, I think it is so now of course, for me too easy to say these words, and I myself also sometimes struggling these things, but at the same time, one thing that's really what I'm trying to do is not to give up. I'll try my best not to give up. Okay, now I cannot do anything. Okay, that's too much. Let's destroy everything. So here, this is sometimes we lose hope in a difficulty time. We lose hope. We're trying to run away. We're trying to. So really, this mind of like just kind of like a wants to move to Canada or something like that. Not give up. Difficulty time. Not giving up. This is a real, yes, it is not easy. You can do easy route. You can do, lost and disappear in wilderness somewhere, in Olympic National Park and enjoy in the nature. We can, stay away. Yes, these things can come up in your mind. Okay, I just, just wants to be with the nature. That becomes a little bit selfish, no? Yes, for weekend maybe good to just get some blessing from nature, rejuvenate it, your energy, come back and ready to have a class with the wisdom and move forward. Yes, this is good. But like ultimately just kind of like giving up mind, this is, I think, we have to be very, very kind of like collectively and individually not giving up. Difficulty time, here, we have to know, we need to stay together, we need to not give up, but our journey will be through wisdom and compassion, learning, transforming our own self. Through that, we can contribute in a different future and peaceful present. So that's, I think, mind of once you give up in your mind, then that's finished. And pretty much so therefore it is not so much nature of a fight. Again, it is not fight. It is evolving. It is not fight. It is the way to evolve. Evolve individually. It's not fight. It is. Sometimes we say, "Don't give up." That means fight. No, we don't have to fight. We can evolve, liberate, evolve. Okay, no fight. So not give up. Then they say, "Oh, we have to fight." No, we need to evolve. Okay. Again, so what we're going to do is, as individually, really kind of becoming inspiration for one another individual. You can become inspiration for one another individual. This is that individual can inspire another individual. We can take this situation to transformation. We can take this difficulty time into transformation, transforming ourselves first, transforming ourselves first. There is a much more wiser through this difficulty time. We will at the end coming into more wiser community member, more wiser, much more experience. Yes, it is a difficulty, but much more wiser. And that makes a better future, that makes a beautiful future. That's really gives hopes to our heart will be open more consistently, more. So that's, I think, really, so my point over here is a difficulty time as seeing as an opportunity to transformation. I mean, like we are labeling that, but something that's, if we kind of how you say, build attention, if the way we respond for difficulty time as a kind of more how you say, constriction, like a same thing, like you just kind of like a freeze. This can be much more. Of course, time to time can happen. Initially, kind of shock and things, and then like breathe and prepared, well prepared, well prepared. So therefore, I think few things, like you can be. Mindfulness, how you processing the world, kind of there's a balance. There's a lot of balance. For difficulty time to transforming yourself, the life you live during the difficulty time, there's a balance. Make sure you have some kind of like a harmonious. Everything's just right amount, not overdosage. So yeah, and then yes, it can be a little bit kind of walking through, and then like a earth, we have an earthquake shake, and then there's an aftermath small shake, and then slowly it settles. It kind of settles. And a similar way for us, this should not be all the time the main earthquake again and again. Just we have some aftermath, that's fine, and then make sure it settles. It settles. So in a difficulty time, so that's, I think, then suddenly, then you have at the initially, same like an earthquake, you have a shake, you kind of lose your perspective. That's kind of nature. Maybe more kind of like confused or anything. And then slowly, you're being kind of mindful and aware, and then through that, slowly, you also kind of grounded with the reality what's happening in front of us. Grounded. And then through that, then I think it's just like a journey. It won't. So again, our journey not become all the time uphill. If difficulty time, how we take the journey. If everything is like a, sometimes Seattle, like San Francisco, like if there's never like that, it will be difficult for the car engine. So therefore, journey, at the end, the journey have to be something that's kind of like a settles. So you don't have to be constantly kind of holding your loving kindness. It should not be all the time kind of uphold your wisdoms. And there's a certain time, at certain time it needs to be kind of natural. Certain time it have to be kind of like a part of your life. And kind of like a journey. And then again, it goes, and then sometime, then maybe again there will be some earthquake comes up. So if we feel all the time in a difficulty time, the journey of wisdom and compassion becomes all the time uphill, then again you need to kind of like, this is something we are doing, something we are not balanced. Okay, if you feel like every day becomes, every day becomes like you're driving in first gear. Every day becomes like something like a pushing. Although you're being mindful, although you're doing all kind of through the loving kindness and wisdom and everything. But if you feel, again, you need to listen. Not everything what you feel and what you think, you need to listen to your heart. You listen to your, many times, it will tell us, is there something, I thought I did everything right, but my body tells there's something's not right, So we need to listen and respect, and when his body tells you something, and then your heart tells you something. And then we really kind of slow down, and again, wisdom need to our wisdom, the main job comes to our wisdom. Our wisdom need to re-look at it, kind of observing and assessing. And then based on that, so at the end, basically, not losing our humanity inside within us. Humanity, that we feel human. We all are human. We're not losing that. Will become, and yes, some goes through different experience in the ups and downs. That's understandable. Okay, and then from our side, not losing that humanity. And then and now if just compassion is all about just giving, it is just giving, then where's the reward? Reward? We need to inspire it. To inspire it. Compassion is not just giving. My point over here is being compassionate. It have a kind of manifest as a giving, but through that ultimately I think you need to. There's something transformation and growth you need to feel. If you feel, basically what I'm saying is compassion is just you feel giving and giving and giving. If you don't see any kind of a transformation and growth within our own self, this is not so much selfish point of view, but this is how I think how human we are. Due to compassion is not one-way karmic action. It is a two-way karmic action. Round trip karmic action, I don't know. It is not just one way, it is a round trip. So the round trip in terms of what I'm saying is there is you feel your transformation, your growth, your gift that you are receiving. If we don't feel that, then compassion is one way compassion is limited. Is a tiring. We can do for a little while, and then it's get tiring. It's discouraging. It disappoints. So again over here, compassion, which becomes not like a one-way kind of action, to feel your own, not just good feeling, some transformation. And now here the complex comes is from your side, you are fully open, and what I said round trip or two-way, the transformation over here. When I'm saying transformation, that from that transformation is we need to be that transformation. I mean, it's easy to say the transformation, but somehow. You are giving, you are opening your heart, but from that person, not necessary to give you all the time good news. It will poke many different parts of our existence. So therefore, this is all. So so here, with the compassion to becomes kind of like a two-way of a learning and a two-way of a transformation is your wisdom awareness. Your wisdom awareness becomes a fundamental. Your wisdom awareness is basically how you respond. You know, you share your compassion, you open your heart, but there's a respond can be many different, but how you respond for that through that depends how you respond for that reaction or that response. You know, how you respond for your compassion giving. I don't know, am I saying right? So basically, you're being very compassionate for that person. That person will be not necessarily nice to us. Now the compassion is to become two-way of a compassion. I say, inspired compassion to become that whole. That person shows negative or that person shows positive. That person's action becomes source of your own transformation and a learning process. I think that's like we have to kind of, that's not easy. You know, we have a very set reality. I'm being nice, you have to be nice to me. Now, and that's kind of like a build-up based on a one-way compassion philosophy. You know, one way is just like this only. So two-way, basically, I think over here is the gift that coming from, although that action can transform into the gift for yourself based on how you're going to respond for that action. And that action is particularly built up based on your open heart for that person. So there is a very powerful foundation. Either it goes absolutely wrong, destroys both, or it can becomes, you know, beautiful future for both of a person. You know, so that's the kind of the, so wisdom becomes a really important. Wisdom is a fundamental. If we lose wisdom eye, then that's it. You know, once we're in an extreme view, we lose our wisdom eye. So our wisdom, compassion plays a very important role, but the journey, wisdom need to look at it. And wisdom is basically trying to see. What means wisdom? Wisdom means trying to interpret the reality many different ways. And particularly trying to interpret that reality into transformation of yourself. It seeks the opportunity to transforming yourself. Okay? Now, you know, so it is a wisdom is a individual. Wisdom is who decide our own individual reality. My reality, which is I say created or understood by my own wisdom, may not necessarily cover all universe, or for something different. But this is my wisdom. My wisdom. Okay, even so again, basically what we are looking for is in the result some kind of peaceful and beautiful future. That's peaceful and beautiful future. That means something internally transformed, internally growth, internally matured. How we define mature? You know, so mature means, what that means, mature means how you respond to reality is much more gentle. How you respond to reality have a much more less reactive. That's the mature, no? What's the definition of mature? Anybody have a Google?
Well, like a fruit, you know, it's full, it's whole, and complete.
Complete, mature. Fruit ripening. In mature is this English word, no? It's Greek word, English word, mature.
Good word.
Huh?
Good word.
Good word. Yeah. No, Greek word or mature. Huh?
Adult, grown up,
Mature.
or like a person who's
Yeah, mature.
but also like
Mature.
psychologically.
Yeah. So
And more stable.
more stable. More stable. Yeah. So basically non-reactive. It needs to be corresponded with some situation and reality. When you say non-mature, means basically that person is not able to take that reality, that situation.
Latin word meaning ripe, timely, early,
Okay.
yeah,
Ripening. Okay.
thorough, mature deliberations.
Okay. You know, so I will just, there's in a Buddhist philosophy, there's one statement says, until you don't realize emptiness, wisdom realizing emptiness, nobody's matured. Until you don't realize wisdom realizing emptiness, ultimate truth or something like that, you don't realize that until that everybody's unmature. It justifies some reaction. So anyway, so mature society is a peaceful society. You know, unmature society becomes unpeaceful society. Immature. So now we say society, now we go to individual. Immature individual won't be reactive. Mature individual be, instead of reactive, more compassionate. Mature individual becomes, instead of reactive, more compassionate. Unmature individual becomes reactive. Okay, so now here and now all this situation puts into the difficulty time of a difficulty. A mature individual will look at, first of all I mentioned as a non-giving up, and it will kind of look the situation much more mature way, more grounded way, non-reactive way. Now, in a difficulty time, unmature will make a scene, throw everything, break everything down, everything, So there's no kind of like a gentleness, there's no kindness, there's no, so mature. So now, can that, due to the understanding and circumstances, can we opportunity for unmature person, individual can become mature? Yes. And is the difficulty time is the best time? Yes, I think. Once you become mature, unmature person becomes mature in a difficulty time, that gets like a tenure track for the maturity. So never get therefore what my point over here is that kind of concept of a open heart, non-giving up, discipline, balance, and patience, and this whole kind of like methods, but in the core there's something you, not intentionally or unintentionally, you're seeing your transformation. You're seeing your transformation in this, particularly in a difficulty time. And your own transformation becomes inspiration for individual. And that person, that is the outcome, that outcome will be the best, And that will change the world. That can change the world, that can be the future. So that's really the, Jordan, I don't have a watch, so I don't know.
It's 12:20.
12:20, okay. So maybe I'll open, what you
Question and
question
answer.
answer.
And,
I can run.
Make sure you turn it
The word in the Beatitudes
blessed in Aramaic is ripe, ready,
Oh,
mature.
okay, beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you very much.
How can a mature self watch the suffering of so many people in the world right now?
Now, now, as a usual, you're saying like you prepare for the worst, but you expect for the best. Your wish is the best, and this is really beautiful. So, from the mature person, so this is the reality. Okay, you're mature person. Mature person will be mature person will be in a seeing lots of suffering, will become much more, general speaking, it will get much more, how you say, encouraged, not scared. Not scared. Even you see more suffering, mature person will not be scared. Never inch, and it have a courage. It doesn't mean, it not necessarily it sees that it can solve the problem, but it never give up, and it have a courage. You see courage, not losing the courage. I'll do it. I'll do it. So mature is like really the courage. Never slice fear, even though it looks. If we're caught in fear, finish. We will lose our maturity. So if we notice we are caught in a fear, we lose our maturity. So never caught into the fear. We see the suffering, we see really difficulty. We will fully engage through wisdom and awareness, not through fear. So fundamentally, anything becomes from, fear can become trigger. Yes, many reality, fear, boom, is trigger. But then we mature person slowly, it is not going to dictate it by the fear. So we have to really kind of, kind of like a bigger perspective, more bigger perspective, and then really not giving up. There's encouragement. Number one, what we can do is a consistently encouraging, consistently encouragement, not giving up. And if we, that's I think a really in a suffering, there is some kind of like a hope for any kind of suffering. The immediate like water, what keeps life to getting out from suffering is the hope. What mature person can give, we can give is a hope. Whatever angle, hope is the fundamental, it's like the oxygen that can keep alive. So there's a hope from different perspective, whatever hope that we can bring, from awareness, through kindness, many different perspectives, whatever our positions are. So that's like, and also, kind of minimizing people who are going through sufferings, like the fear, whatever, through whatever means, minimizing, reduce, whatever we can do. So that's, I think, like a is I think oppose any kind of action we can, based on our own skills and our own profession, whatever we can contribute. That's very beautiful. But fundamentally, I think the mindsets of our own mature, how we view the world in overall, in the bigger picture, keeping everything in days kind of more in a balance, middle way, non-reactive, and then also whatever happening on the ground at that moment, fundamental, creating hope, in a gift of hope, gift of information, gift of compassion. There's, I think, really many bless. I was kind of remembering listening for some of my teacher when they crossing Himalayas in 1959, and they do. I mean, like they just say, okay, we go from this direction towards to India. That's it. They don't have a map. They have nothing. They have nothing. There's nothing. But there is a very difficult journey. But what really kept them that journey to going? Not by fear. Of course, fear there's something, but fundamentally the hope. The hope really kept. Of course, there's they have to be careful not to get caught. So this kind of things there. But main thing that keep going, keep moving. The hope. They say, we can go be in India. We continue our life. That hope. So I think the something. Past is just kind of like a dream. Present and future looks like more tangible. Future is also more like it's coming, so it's an upcoming tangible reality. So in this kind of situation, hope is the best vitamin, I think, to continuing. Great, thank you.
Could you share your thoughts about how meditation can help the development of compassion and wisdom?
Mm-hmm. Now, okay, here, now when you're talking a meditation, there can be wisdom meditation and also compassion meditation, and now what I'm saying over here is like a mindfulness meditation and a concentration meditation. These are meditation is a good in a controlled environment. Yes, less distracted. You go like a retreat, outward countryside, quiet. Now, wisdom and compassion meditation, better to do middle of Seattle, not in a countryside. So, reason I'm thinking is compassion meditation and wisdom meditation is very raw. And when we say meditation, what that means is how you respond. How we respond. So compassion and wisdom is a specific reality we are facing, and this is meditation. It means like you're psychologically, emotionally, how you kind of balance way to responding for that reality. That's the method. That's the exercise. That's the exercise. Here, very raw reality in front of us. And the wisdom meditation and compassion meditation is you are responding very balanced. It's a little bit kind of, you may fall here and there, but still you're paying attention and not to fall into the one side or extreme sides. So wisdom meditation and compassion meditation is now, here, at this moment, reality. So basically, meditation means wisdom and compassion, the reality in front of us, how we processing. reality in front of us, you are keep not giving up and keep connecting. That's the compassion. Reality that in front of us, you're trying to see and respond not from one angle, but to trying to see many different angles, and you're trying to working through. That's wisdom meditation. You know, if that reality in front of us, if you just come through one angle, only one angle, is not meditation. It's distraction. In the same way, you know, so that's the kind of I think the key thing here is now, of course, rehearsal meditation of wisdom and compassion we can do in countryside. You know, in quiet place, we can rehearsal. We can kind of visualize. We can create that kind of imagination and non-reacting. That kind of, what you call dress rehearsal? What you call that? So rehearsal, dress rehearsal, meditation, wisdom and compassion, we can do in a countryside. The actual real meditation, wisdom and compassion, is the middle of Seattle. Here, the raw reality in front of us. And here, if we able to not give up and keep connected, compassion. If we able to, you know, wisdom is like a sportsman's of the MBA of the awareness. I mean, like this, hopefully it becomes the MBA of awareness. So basically, it is really looking for many. It's not just trying to put from one corner all the time. It is looking from many different perspectives. So wisdom is, yes, we know where we want to be, but getting over there is not only from one angle. You look at from many, wherever opportunity opens up. Wisdom is just looking, seeing, finding, and non-reacting, and being present, and just looking for many different. Wisdom MBA player cannot stay in one spot all the time. they will fire. So it needs to be walked all over. It needs to see all over, looking for many different perspectives. Be creativity, be funny, be humor, sometimes be rough, sometimes be humor. You have many different manifestations, spontaneous responding. It is a play. Okay. So that's, I think, rehearsal maybe we can do in quite our own environment, kind of reflect it, and you kind of plan it a little bit how you're going to, maybe kind of like kind of encourage self to do the non-reactive and kind of compassionate, but really the progress of wisdom and compassion, the progress only happens when you do in the raw, in the reality, in the front. Progress never happens in a countryside. Wisdom and compassion, meditation, progress, very difficult to happen in a quiet, controlled environment. Inch by inch, experience by experience, moments of experience by experience that you face in front of us, and then you kind of never through. This is, I think, like the real training happens. Of course, we failed, we fall down, we might need to, take a break. Same things can happen in the wisdom and compassion meditation. Sometimes we need to take a break. That's okay. Sometimes we're not able to handle. Then again, get it healed, come back and continue. Yeah, again, you know, Jordan asked me to talk here, so I myself, same thing, struggling like yourself, you know, like it's not that I'm so learned and experienced, nothing, we all in the same thing. And Jordan put me in this position to talk, so I'm talking. It's not that I'm doing all the things that I'm saying, like, oh, I did myself, and no, I myself is also struggling. Okay, and the things that work for me, things that doesn't work for me, so I'm trying to share. You know, it's like, maybe it's strange to hear that wisdom and compassion meditation don't do it in a countryside, do it here. I feel, somehow my feeling, you know, is my own feeling, maybe wrong, maybe right, who knows. For me, it looks like really transformation happens when things is just next to you. You know, so again, yeah, you have to blame Jordan. Just joking.
Shall we stop and have the potluck now?
Oh, okay, great, thank you. No.
Is there one more burning question, or shall we?
Okay.
Yes, go ahead. Just time for one
Thank
quick
you,
question.
Rinpoche, for these wonderful teachings and coming here.
I hope so, thank you.
This is not a short question, I'm sorry, but do you see any, in terms of suffering of our planet, this is nothing new, this is samsara, but do you see any sort of transformation for humanity with all this AI stuff and everything seems to be changing so rapidly. It always has, but even more so. Any comments on that?
Yes, yeah. So again, I mean, like, I'm not too much aware, more detail. I know, I hear general stuff. This AI, what it can do, it does many things. But I believe, my personal belief at this moment, based on my kind of like upbringing, things like that. I mean, like, one thing, how we human respond for the AI, whatever it can bring. Whatever it brings, and how we're going to respond, how we're going to kind of relating with that, I think is really important. It can transform into the possibility. Possibility is both way. Possibility to go totally everything ruined, possibility to make even more progress. Possibilities in both way. And I think, yes, it is we need more wisdom and compassion meditation to AI become more effective in future, more productive. We human have to have that wisdom and compassion maturity. Then AI, we can really make more how you say, productive in the future. If we become more egotistical, more grasping, more extreme, then AI can be very dangerous. So the more the AI technology side, they're developing AI, but human side, we need to get more wisdom and compassion meditation. Otherwise, yes, it is like an egg and a monkey. I say, egg on a monkey's hand. But the Tibetan sometimes there's way saying, if you give egg to monkey's hand, monkey will look and then throw down and broke the egg. There's a way of saying basically it will do disaster. You know, you give an egg in the monkey's hand, and the monkey look and pretty much it's not going to look pan and trying to make a sunny side. It's not going to do that. It's basically look at and throw down and cracks and breaks. So yes, so in one way, AI is almost like an egg in a monkey's hand. Egg on a monkey's hand, and this Tibetan way of saying. So in a way, so I think there's a not easy answer, and I think there's a very legit concern. I think this AI things, as I think, because it is it is a kind of like a replicating some type of a behavior of our human thinking and brain function. Many things it's yes, it is a and but again, you know, when you're looking for the history, you know, first farming, then industry, then there's, but human still going on. So I think we human will keep going still. I think even though AI is coming up, we'll keep going. Thank you. Yeah.
I have a simple question that this brings up with AI. What is truth? I'm serious. How does truth come into this discussion? Because we all have different views of what truth is and means.
Yes.
And that seems to be a conundrum. I'm sorry, that's just this a problem.
Yes. Now, truth. You know, of course, in the now, what is the truth? Buddha, and let me go with the first Buddha's teaching. Buddha says there is a truth, kind of like a basis of everything, and there's a truth is a kind of collective and individual. So truth is a very not ready to put in one box when you say truth. So truth, where it's trying to kind of, there's a kind of a universal fundamental truth, and there's a truth that's individual or collective or something that's kind of called relative truth. Now, and these both, when we say truth, it need to be something ultimate, something final. And sometimes we look to the final for what? What kind of final? Final as a source of everything? Or it's not necessarily. It comes to, when we say truth, it looks like comes to source of everything. Truth. It's not so much right or wrong, or it's not that kind of. Most times it comes to truth. The word truth, slowly, when it's analyzed, comes to the source of everything. Okay, and now, source of everything. If there's a something to point, which is a kind of source of a universe or source of everything, what is that? Now, from the particularly in Buddhist thinking is a flow of energy. It's a kind of collective energy. Flow of a collective energy is a source of everything. There's nothing. So now AI is kind of yeah. You are very right. What is real and what is not real. And I think for me, AI is perfect analogy of a Buddhist concept of a relative truth. It is a relative truth means it is a kind of a karmically created. And for certain extent, it is a valid, not ultimately valid, but for certain extent, it can functional It can effective. So for me, the AI becomes kind of like a perfect analogy of a relative truth. It is not ultimate truth. It's a relative. It is for certain extent, it have all the function valid. Everything's there. Now, to become ultimate truth, it cannot be created through Silicon Valley. All those computer people cannot create ultimate truth. Ultimate truth cannot be created. Ultimate truth cannot be created through research lab and doing all that things. There's no. So relative truth, yes, we can create it. But so AI cannot be replaced ultimate truth. I'll say that. This ultimate truth, nobody can. It is common share reality. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Rinpoche, can we recite a short dedication?
Sure.
So on the second page here, there's a dedication there. And if you prefer, instead of saying Lord Buddha, you can say Jesus or something. But this is a traditional way of just kind of bottling up all the good energy we've created and spreading it out into the world. So let's give it a go. Due to this merit, may we soon attain the awakened state of Guru Buddha, that we may be able to liberate all sentient beings from their sufferings. May the precious Gaudi mind now yet born arise and grow. May that born have no decline, but increase forevermore.
Thank you so much. Thank you.